Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Oxford Business Insights podcast. I'm delighted to welcome along this to talk to us today Anthony Tattersall, who's the Managing Director of Darcica Logistics, and we're going to learn about how logistics is changing the face of the last mile delivery in Oxfordshire and well beyond that, but also in a sustainable way. Welcome, Anthony. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Nick.
Pleasure. Okay, so you are the co-founder and MD of Darcica Logistics, and you have an ethical and sustainable approach to last mile delivery. I know you've got some news about where you're located, but your home is Kidlington. Am I correct in that?
No, Bicester, we're
Bicester.
located.
You're in Bicester,
Yeah.
and so we're going to talk today a little bit about purpose-led logistics, electric vehicles, a bit about AI optimization, scaling sustainably, and building an inclusive team, which I think is fantastic. The way you've done that mix of things, business areas into one business. So before we get stuck into where you are now, tell us a bit about what you did before you launched Darcica.
So before I launched Darcica, I was in the refuse industry. So I was in the waste industry. I started out many years ago as a driver. I was driving for pallet waste before I went into the waste industry, and had a car accident, which meant I couldn't pull the pallets around anymore. So
Oh, okay.
I moved into the waste industry. Wheelie bin's a little bit lighter, or most of the time, and worked my way up. I built my career around my hard work and my knowledge of Oxfordshire. Ended up at Grundon Waste Management, where I had 8 fantastic years running depots and then building into the regional manager for the company.
Okay, excellent. So that was so you're obviously very experienced in the waste industry. What led you to actually take the pretty big step to set up your own logistical company? Talk us through that.
So during COVID, or at the start of COVID, we had the obviously lockdown and everything kind of went, and I didn't really see anywhere for me to progress anymore.
Okay.
Um, as much as Grundon's a great company, the progression opportunities were somewhat stifled due to furlough and COVID and all the rest of
Yeah.
it. So um, I saw an opportunity with Amazon to start your own business and deliver parcels on behalf of Amazon.
Okay.
Fairly straightforward. They have something called their delivery service partner model, where small owned businesses come in and deliver between 5 and 20 routes a day for them throughout the year, um, and it's a very good setup. So I thought, well, that to me looks like an opportunity. I mean, if I can run 5 depots, I can definitely run 5 routes.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Excellent. And did you see? Obviously, you were talking to Amazon then. Did you see then? Obviously, you do a lot more now. But did you see a sort of a particularly wider gap in the market than Amazon? I know this was in the height of COVID, so I can understand then you were a little bit restricted. But did you have a wider vision?
Yeah, I could see that the way the world was going to be changing. I could see that, online retail is going to be a much bigger fish,
Yeah.
shall we say, in the very near future. And I felt that I was getting into an industry at a point where it was about to see some exponential growth. So I felt that it was a good time, um, and I felt that we could enter it and apply our focus on service, and our vision and our passion for sustainability. And that was kind of where we felt that we had some opportunity to take it and grow and do something a bit more.
Excellent. I've got to ask you the name. Tell us how that came about.
So yes, Darcica is an unusual name, but it derives from both my daughter's names. So I've got Darcy and I've got Jessica.
Okay.
I also have an older daughter called Danny. I couldn't fit them all in. I've got Darcy and I've got Jessica, and I put it together and created Darcica. Much mainly because that's what they wanted to do. They were very forceful that they were going to be part of the business one day, and they wanted some part of it, and that's how it came about.
Okay. So tell us what's different, and I'm taking you back to the early days. What was different about you from some of the more traditional courier firms operating in Oxfordshire at that time?
So, in terms of like courier firms delivering parcels for Amazon, for DPD, for for all of them, they're very same. And
Yeah.
you know, it's very difficult to differentiate yourself
Yeah.
in that kind of market. So that was where we saw the challenge. We went in, we started working with Amazon. Of course, our drive was to deliver a great service and make sure that we sort of built a good team and all the rest of it. But actually, apart from that, it's very constrained. That is how it works,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where I decided that I wanted to bring Melanie on board and bring Melanie into the business. Obviously,
That's
Melanie's
your
my
partner.
wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, and I wanted to create something that was different, something that was us, something that I guess portrayed who we are and what we are like as business owners. Our focus is always people, planet, and then profit.
Yeah.
Um, and that for us, we needed to do something a bit more than the standard last mile deliveries that we
Yeah.
were currently doing. So that's when we took the business to the next step, and we bought in. We got a building. We got ourselves a contract with Palletways, who have been a fantastic partner for us.
Yeah.
And we started doing pallet network deliveries around Oxfordshire and e-commerce fulfillment in our warehouse. And at that point, before I even got got the start date with them, I went out and I got the first Maxus electric curtain cider in the country, and I ordered it. It didn't come for another year, but
No, but you took the risk.
I took the risk and I went, you know what? We're going to make a bit of a stamp, and we're going to come straight into Oxfordshire, into the logistics market, and show who we are and what we want to be. And that is a forward thinking, sustainable logistics business.
Excellent. And I can imagine that that must be. I know you work for some of the the big guys like Amazon, but also I guess sort of eco-conscious or sustainability conscious clients of all sorts must find that attractive.
Yeah, it's definitely improving as time goes on, and as the sort of focus on it grows. We are starting to see people coming to us because they want a good service, they want that sustainability drive. We're working with some fantastic businesses around Oxfordshire, and ones that you would think aren't necessarily focused on sustainability, but actually once you get in there and you start talking to them, that is part of their ethos, and
Yeah.
actually it really does help to strengthen that relationship with them early on.
Okay. So again, going back to sort of your relatively, say your first year or so of trading, I mean, you had to do all that. You took the risk in bringing in some first time equipment to the UK market. How did you go? But you also have to do the selling as well as the delivering. I mean, that must have been a lot of work. And when did Melanie actually come into the business?
So yeah, you're right. It was a lot of work, as well as sort of running the deliveries for Amazon. Um, coming in and growing palletways was, or customers for the pallet network was really kind of a lot. Um, we did a lot. I had to build the team, and
Yeah,
so a lot of my team have been with me from early on,
yeah,
and we've developed them into managers, we've developed them into sales, we've developed them into accountants. So, we've done a lot with our team and developed,
yeah.
but actually, what I tend to do is I build a team around me of people that I can trust and people that have got the right attitude,
Yeah,
and I'm a firm believer in, you can teach the job, you can't teach the attitude.
yeah,
So I tend to try and take people into the team, and we've all made mistakes along the way, but I tend to bring people into the team that have the right attitude, and
yeah,
then we build their knowledge and their skill base around it. So there was a lot going on early on in the
yeah.
in
I
the
bet.
start of the business. So and that's when we first started. Initially, Melanie was uh, doing a little bit and trying to understand a bit more about what we were doing, um, and she did a few award submissions for us. We
Yeah,
won a few awards
yeah.
around
No, no.
Oxfordshire and
Yeah,
national, and that's all come from Melanie and her understanding for award writing and her passion for sustainability and for our business. So, you know, nothing sells a business better than the business itself and the heart of the
absolutely.
business. And so, that's why we do that. And that's why I'm still heavily involved in going out and obtaining customers and meeting and greeting customers, because ultimately people aren't going to buy us for our price.
Yeah,
Great service is always good, but actually I think a lot of people buy us or use us because of who we are, and
yeah.
they want to work with us and enjoy the service and the passion they get from working with a company like ours.
Okay. And how does that translate into sort of like day to day operations with your team and your staff? Because I know a lot of companies, frankly, can talk about things like that, but actually delivering it requires everybody to buy into that concept. There's no use you just saying it and then somebody at the front line going to a customer and not behaving
Yeah.
in the right way. So how do you get that into day to day operations?
It's not always easy,
Yeah,
and we do a lot with our team to show them we're a very open business. We're very much we're happy to connect our team with what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we're getting there. We celebrate our successes with the team. A lot of our customer leads come from our drivers who are out there every
excellent. Yeah,
day, and it's because they buy into what we do as a business. They are the face of our business, and I think as long as we treat our people well, um, they will pay it back tenfold with their passion when they're out talking to our customers. Um, you know, when you get customers posting on LinkedIn about how great their driver is from
yeah,
Darcica, um, I you know that doesn't. I don't need to go out there and do social posts of how good we are and what, because why would I when I've got our customers saying how great our drivers are and what advocates they are for our business. Multiple customers have told me that the drivers that come to them from us are the best drivers they've ever had, and it's like, how do you get such great drivers? And it's not about how you get them, it's about how you treat them.
Interesting. Yeah, and so just give us an example of that. I think you do. You have a fair pay approach. Other things. Just tell us a little bit about the culture you've built up around based on your values as a business.
Yeah, so the guys that and gals that work for us in our team know that there is opportunity for development. They've seen a lot of our team. I think we're at 10 people now that we've put through their HGV license to
Yeah.
help develop them into HGV drivers. Um, our operations manager who runs our Bicester site was a driver originally. He then became the warehouse manager, and now he runs the entire operation. So they are our finance and HR manager started off as accounts, and so we put a lot into our team and we develop them. Um, and I guess that people see there is an opportunity. They can see how much we've grown. So
Yeah.
you know, being part of a business that is growing and winning awards and showing that there is development opportunity is great. But actually, it's about the day to day, how you look after them, what you do with them, talking to them, asking them if they're okay. Knowing your team. Like if someone that you talk to day in day out suddenly comes across to you differently, just ask them, is everything all right?
Yeah.
They 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 love it, and I think it's really important. We do things like we provide a food cupboard for anyone who might not be able to afford lunch or has forgotten their lunch that day
Yeah.
or and can't afford to buy something while around about. So there's always something in there for there's always cereal, there's always ham and cheese and
Yeah.
bread and basic stuff. But actually, I've
Means a
had
lot.
people come to me in the past and say that because we provide that, they're able to eat so that they can then have their family eating at home because they're
Yeah.
struggling. So I think it might be small touches, but I think overall,
No,
I
but
think just the feel of the place make
it's
people feel
powerful, particularly when it hits at the right time. No, I absolutely get that. And so, does that sort of thing? You mentioned yourself that the differentiation is tough, but do you think that that purpose is now sort of getting out into the market through customer reviews and how your drivers act and behave and other members of staff? Do you think that's getting out into the marketplace almost organically? This is what you get if you type.
Yeah, I would definitely say that that whenever you're passing on work to a business, you're always going to be cautious. So, you know, initially it was quite difficult to get customers to trust us, to believe us. We here comes these people. They've only been around a year. They're saying they're sustainable. They're saying they've got great service. Um, I think over time, those that we don't really get customers leave us, which is testament in itself. Our service is for the majority of the time. We all have a bad day, but for the majority of the time, our service is second to none, and that spreads. People talk, people move around, people move in different jobs, and that is starting to spread. And
Yeah.
certainly this year, our customer base has doubled.
Wow.
So in the first 3 years, we've built up customers. In this year alone, our customer base has doubled,
Wow.
and that has come from a number of things: good word of mouth, uh, a presence, but actually we're not just here for the short term, and I think people are realizing we're not just here for the short term. We're here. There are so many transport companies out there that start up, run it for 2 years, and then they close down.
Yeah.
Um, I think people have realized that we're here for the long term now, and we're growing. We give that service. We've got a fantastic team, and we are getting people coming to us now almost
Yeah.
and saying, "Can you can you do it? Can you look after us as a customer? In the last week alone, we've probably started 3 new customers, and normally at this time of year, we don't see any customers starting until January. So,
Yeah, yeah, no,
you know,
that's good. No, that's really good.
it's one of those things where we definitely are seeing increase in our presence.
Excellent. Okay, let's switch tack very slightly. Talking a little bit more about the technology you use, and particularly the electrification of your fleet, and also how you use EVs in the last mile delivery. But I think you're broadening that. So tell us a little bit about how electric vehicles are impacting your product services, and how you go out and use your fleet.
Yeah, so obviously we're trying to drive our sustainability, and the biggest part of our I guess our emissions is our vehicles. So, we are really focusing on that side of it for the majority. We have 37% of our vehicles are electric now,
Hmm.
mainly smaller fleet.
Hmm.
So we've got cars, we've got vans, we've got Luton Curtain side electric, and then this year we bought in our very first 18-ton truck, which we
Okay.
got through HTC DAF, and 6 months in, it's been fantastic. I mean, I could always see the an electric vehicle for us doesn't need to go far. Most of our deliveries are within a 30-mile radius and don't need to do more than 100 miles in a day.
Okay.
So, and we trialed a number of different trucks, but the DAF just fit us really well.
Okay.
And so when that came back in June, we were one of 10 on the DAF early adopter program in the country. So we had one of the first 10 vehicles out in the country, and I'll be honest, it's been nothing but fantastic bit of kit for us. So,
Excellent.
we're in talks about what we might look at next year, and actually DAF company, one of the sort of local DAF depots has come to us and said, look, we've just got a one that we're going to be using for a demo to put out to customers, but would you run it for a couple of weeks just to see how it compares to your current one, and if there's any feedback we
Yeah.
know. So we're getting put vehicles into us to give feedback on them
Excellent.
because we've got the experience of it. We've run a couple of the articulated lorries as tests, and it's a good place for us to be at the moment.
So I think you said 37% of your entire fleet. If you jump forward, say 3 years, what percentage would you estimate you might be in that sort of time?
I'd like to get us above 50%.
Right.
We've got through a lot of the smaller vehicles.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is to start progressing the larger vehicles.
Yeah.
But most of our vehicles are owned. So there is a lifespan in the current
Yeah.
vehicles that we own. So, ideally you want to be running one of those for a good 7-8 years. Some of them are only sort of 3 or 4 years
Right.
old.
Okay.
So
No, I understand.
as we get through to that replacement program, we will
Yeah.
start to bring them in. And every time we grow, we look at whether we can grow with the vehicles. Now, part of the issue is that our current building is at capacity for electric.
Right. Okay.
So I could bring in more electric vehicles, but I can't charge them.
Not such a great idea. Okay.
But we've just signed a lease on a second building, also in Bicester, and that will give us the ability to put more chargers in the area and to grow our electric capacity and our vehicle capacity. So
Excellent. And we talked quite a bit about EVs, but what about other technology and software? The whole logistical process is is pretty complex. Obviously, there's a human element to it. But what sort of other technology and software do you use to sort of ensure smooth operations at Darcica?
Yeah, so we have a number of softwares. So for our e-commerce fulfillment, we use software called Mintsoft, which takes orders from customers' websites, processes them, gives us the locations within the warehouse.
Hmm.
The guys can then go around and pick those goods and pack them up and dispatch them and ship them, ready for the carriers. And we, in our vehicles, we use a system called Samsara.
Okay.
And Samsara not only is a vehicle tracking and a camera system,
Yeah.
it also has AI camera within the vehicle, which will address the driver and see if he's doing things like not wearing his seatbelt, or
Oh,
if
okay.
he's harsh braking, or if he's doing something like smoking, for instance. So um, these cameras are there to help not only capture any safety incidents, but they're
Yeah.
also there to help improve the driver and his efficiency. And it will coach him. He'll get coaching advice based on how he drives, what he drives, whether he's braking too hardly. So
Yeah.
that then in turn reduces the fuel use in a vehicle and makes it more efficient. So again, driving efficiencies and sustainable usage of a vehicle.
Excellent. Okay. And do you see sort of you mentioned AI and the camera technology? I mean, I can imagine both in the warehouses, new building, as well as on the road. How do you see that developing AI and automation going forward?
I think AI and automation's inevitable, right?
Yeah.
There will be two types of businesses: those that adopt it and those that don't. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, those that don't will find themselves very quickly falling behind the curve.
Yeah.
Um, there are obviously some things you don't want to replace with
Yeah.
AI or robots, because ultimately a people business needs people.
Yeah.
However, I think there are efficiencies to be made. There are um, things that can assist and help people, and that will come on better in time. There are certainly loads of robots out there for warehousing and
Yeah.
fulfillment. Um, they're just built for very large scale fulfillment centers and
Right.
warehousing. Um, Implementing something like that into small businesses is never really a possibility at the moment. However, I think in time that will come along. But there's so much out there at the moment in terms of AI that there can be better efficiencies. You know, we're looking at how we can use it to promote our business, how we can use it to build advertising, how we can use it to build our social media
Yeah.
presence, how we can use it to analyze our data and give us the sort of information we need at a much faster speed. Because the quicker we can analyze the data, the quicker we can act on it, and the more efficient we can be, and the quicker we can make changes. So I definitely think there is a position in businesses for AI and adopting it. It's just so many people just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, what do you do? How do you do it? What and the answer is to try little things, try
Yeah.
it, play with it. And we are certainly, next year for me, I think is a big part of what will happen next year will be how we can find those efficiencies through AI.
Excellent. Okay. Well, let's just drop back up just briefly to the people side of the business, because you described yourself as a people business that happens to do logistics, and we've discussed a bit what that means, how you promote and develop people that come into your business. But in terms of as a leader, in the business that's growing fast. How's that challenged you and perhaps Melanie in terms of how you built the business? I mean, because you've come from a startup stage to now quite a substantial business, just going into getting your second depot to build the business, as well as more cars, more vehicles and people. So that sort of the challenge of management and leadership. Talk to us a little bit how you deal with that side of things.
It's been a challenge. I am one for always wanting to know what's happening.
Right.
So I it's been a challenge for me personally to learn to step back, let people learn and make
Yeah.
mistakes and guide them and correct them. So,
Yeah.
I've always developed people in any business I've been part of or manager of. I've always looked to develop people from within and grow people's confidence. So I passed that thought process on to my team. That it's very. I've been very good at developing the team below me. Now my job is to develop them to develop people
Yeah.
and to get so I've gone from developing a team around me who can do a great job to now developing them again to become great managers.
Yeah.
And that comes with challenges because I know how I would do it, but I
Yeah.
have to let them learn how to do it their way because
Yeah.
ultimately, whilst someone once told me that you should take the best bits from every manager you've had and put them together to make you an even better manager.
Yeah.
And it was a great bit of advice, and it was a bit of advice that stuck me for a long time. And so I'm now trying to pass that on to my team to look at how they can get the best bits from people that they see around them and that people they've worked with before, and how do they become a better manager than I am even.
Yeah.
Ultimately I want them to make decisions. I want to be able to take a week's holiday and not have a phone call because they know what they're doing and
Yeah.
they trust in themselves. And I think installing belief into people is quite hard
Yeah.
because we all know we can do a good job. Believing it and not having someone there to ask, "Am I doing a good job? Is this the right thing?" is the hardest part of that journey.
Yeah.
Um, And for the first time this year, I took a couple of weeks holiday, and I think over that period I made two phone calls, and they were more, "Why is no one phoning me? Is everything okay?" um,
You know I'm not there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and that was testament to how far the team have come
Yeah.
because it was really nice to be able to feel that they had it and they knew what they were doing. And that comes development comes with time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and looking after people and growing people comes. It's not an overnight success.
Absolutely. But it
And
sounds as though you are building that classic of a business that can work and grow without you. Doesn't mean you
yeah,
have to, but it can do it, and that's testament. And frankly, you've done it in a relatively short space of time. I know people. It's taken them 10, 15, even 20 years to get to that sort of stage. So congratulations on doing that so quickly. So look, get the story where we are now. Running into Christmas at the time of recording, obviously busy time for you. Is that absolutely flat out, or does it drop off in Christmas? How does the
last
seasonality hit you?
mile, last mile is definitely busy.
Yeah,
We have throughout the year we have lots of different peaks. So, yes, we have this busy peak at the moment with our last mile deliveries
yeah,
with Amazon. It's busy. It's as busy as it gets with them. But we also, in Easter, the pallet network has its peak,
yeah,
and everyone's ordering stone and grass seed or turf, so we get a lot of
Yeah.
last mile, larger vehicle deliveries at that time. Then in our fulfillment center, that depends on the products we have. We have a school uniform customer who obviously have their peak in the summer when everyone's ordering their school
Yeah.
uniform, and we have some customers who have a very busy sort of November, December for goods going out. So I would say that we don't really ever not have a peak.
Yeah.
Maybe January, February is probably our what I say to my guys every year. It's all right. In January, we'll do this, this, and this because it will be our quiet time. I don't think we've ever had a quiet
Right.
time in
No.
January yet. So, you
No,
know,
good. I know, but no, that's interesting. Okay, let's look forward a little bit. You've got new premises coming along. I'm sure that's going to take up some of your time, maybe in January or February or, and beyond.
yeah.
But if you jump forward, what's Darcica look like in 2, 3, 4 years time in your mind?
Well, if you asked me that 3 years ago, I wouldn't have even been where I'm at now. So,
Good sign.
our aim is to sustainably grow
Yeah.
as we have. I say sustainably grow. It's been high growth, but it's been good. So our aim is to kind of really solidify ourselves as
Yeah.
the choice in Oxfordshire for logistics.
Okay.
We have, as you said, we've taken on a lease for another building that will triple the amount of capacity we have for
Wow.
storage. Um, it will also bring growth within the pallet network, which will see us probably put another 5 or 6 vehicles on the road over the next year. And going on beyond that, I want to stabilize I want to get to a point where we're stabilized and we're improving our efficiencies, shall we
Yeah.
say, improving the technology, look at what we can do, what we've got, and how we can then improve it. So we'll fill our buildings, we'll fill our vehicles, and then it's about improving the efficiencies and sustainability of it. We're also on a journey. We literally today or yesterday have pushed the button on our B Corp submission.
Excellent.
So we are aiming to be one of the first logistics companies to
Wow.
have B Corp in the UK. So
Something.
again, we are driving that side of our business, and everything we do is focused around our people and our sustainability. And B Corp is a very big stamp to say, actually, they don't just say it; they're doing it.
Excellent.
Um,
No, I think that's fantastic what you're doing there, and particularly in your sector. Quite right. There are some sectors where it's relatively straightforward or obvious to take that leap, but for you guys, I think it's a real statement. So, and I also just make what one point in the new premises. Don't forget to allow office space for Jessica and Darcy coming through.
yes, they've got a few years yet, but yeah, it's they already have made it known that they want to be around. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, look, that's a fantastic story, Anthony. And we've covered from sort of EVs to ethics and sustainability. So, Darcica is really proving that logistics can be clean, fair, and commercially successful and expanding. We've got a fantastic business growing in the Bicester area and covering the whole of Oxfordshire. So you should be very proud of what you've achieved. If there was anybody as a potential customer or somebody who might be interested in working for you or maybe a potential supplier, obviously there's websites, darcica.co.uk, but are there other ways what's the best way of either finding out more or getting in touch with you directly?
Yeah, I mean, our website, darcica.co.uk, is obviously a key point. There's a contact us form on there. We have an inquiries email. Both Melanie and I and a lot of our team are on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
We're all very responsive on there. Yeah, it's
Excellent.
not too bad. Just pick up the
Excellent.
phone and our team will always be willing
Well,
to chat to people.
Well, look, thank you for telling us a story. I think you should be very proud of what you've achieved, and I've no doubt you're going to go on and achieve greater things. And the general message is that delivering parcels and products is one thing, but you're delivering impact, and you're doing both really well and in a sustainable way. So I think you should be very proud of what you've achieved. And thank you for giving us your time to tell us that story. And I hope some people get in contact with you through listening to this podcast. So thank you very much, Anthony.
Thank you very much for your time, Nick. I think, yeah, you're right. We're very proud of what we've achieved, and I think hopefully the next couple of years are going to be just as exciting.
Excellent. Thank you.